Alrighty, what's going on, guys? Sorry, it is a little loud. Kind of recording the intro a little late. Well, I started recording the video. As you guys can see, everything's kind of already started. I recorded the video last week. I don't have a whole lot of time. I work a lot, so I only really have the weekends to do anything. And yeah, so I'm gonna go over the car, what it is, and what's going on, and then go from there. My random extension cord. So this is an O2 WRX. Don't mind the STI badge. It has some STI parts, not a lot. Like it's got big brakes. They are Brembo. Just drilled brakes. It comes with street slicks. Well, it came with street slicks when I got it. It did not come with street slicks originally, but had street slicks when I got it. It has a little bit bigger of a turbo. Just kind of some other parts here and there. It's got its little overflow for the coolant. It's got a Grimspeed intercooler. It's got ARP head studs. I have some other head gaskets. As you guys can see, we are pulling the motor. By we, I mean me and Avery. Avery and I, whatever you guys want to say. So I've never done this before, personally. There are a few things that I'm going to share on what you need to take out in order to take the motor out. Sorry if I shake a little bit, it's kind of cold. I got to grab my ladder quick. I'm kind of short, don't judge me. Alrighty, so obviously you take off the main stuff to get to things. Obviously, you got to take out all the tranny bolts. There are 6 bolts that go, well, 1, 2, 3 on the tranny, and then there's a nut underneath those, and then obviously on the same side there's 1, 2, 3, and then a nut. And in order to pull it all the way out, the throwout bearing is connected to the clutch kit in and of itself, I believe. I'm not, like I said, I'm not 100% sure. But in order to pretty much pull the motor out, I have, like I said, never done it before. I tried to shake it. I tried to do anything I possibly could to try and pull it out off of the tranny. I did not know that you had to take the clutch fork off. I already took some parts off. As you guys can see, there's one nut here, or one bolt here and here for the slave cylinder. And there's also this tiny little, it's a 10 millimeter Allen wrench. I have this one that's from my work. It's a 3/8. It works the same. Mine was not that tight. I mean, it was on there a little bit. I had to use little, my jack handle for the jack that's down there, but I use it as more of a breaker bar. You do have to take that off in order to get to the clutch fork kind of little rod thing. At the moment, I cannot take it out. I have to push the motor back, kind of connected to the tranny, so that way the clutch fork has, you know, a little bit of wiggle. Because right now it's being pulled out because obviously the big gap. So it's really hard to pull the little rod that's in here out. Obviously, once I get it out, I will show you. But there's also some stuff underneath the car that is kind of hard to get to, sometimes harder to find. Personally, I was going to try and take the sway bar off. I did not do that because it's kind of easier. But it's right up here. Sorry you can't really see it, but right up here, there's, well, it's more back here that you can see. But right here is where you get to the motor mount bolts. It's right here. I have a little swivel. Sorry, I'm gonna get up off the ground. I had the little swivel socket that I used that helped tremendously. If I can find it, I will show you what I'm talking about. Alright, obviously this is not the right one that I was using, but this is what I'm talking about. I was using a 3/8 drive, not this small drive. I don't even know what this is. I don't know this drive. but it's for the small ones that I have. Anyways, I just used a swivel little extension thingy like this. It seemed to work pretty well. Took the downpipe off. Those are obviously just those bolts right there. And I don't know personally how to obviously take it out, like I've said multiple times. But this is the jack point that I'm using. It's on where the intercooler bolts onto. This bolt is decently long, so I figured I could use that, and it's held onto the motor anyways, and it's almost right in the middle. Obviously, you don't want the chain that you're using to hit any of the sensors. You don't want to break any of them. So I have it right where it is. It's kind of just jacked up, just tight enough that it's not pulling on anything at all. And then I also saw that this was a very good jack point. It is, again, a decently long bolt. And it seems to hold. Like I said, I've shook it and everything. It still has not dropped. So we're doing good. Now, time to explain why I'm pulling the motor. I'm pulling the motor because the timing belt snapped, kind of. It snapped with, I don't know where the tensioner that bolts on, it's right here. It's a hydraulic tensioner that just uses the block for obviously its tension. That went out and lost all of the pressure that it had, so it snapped the timing belt, obviously. And Subarus are known for being an interference motor, so also I don't know if it should do that. It doesn't have any tension at all. Like, it just spins. I don't believe it should do that. It has tension after you, like it stops, and then after you spin it, it has tension. But I don't believe they should do that. They are interference motors, so with it still rolling, because it was in gear when it broke, it realistically bent a valve, so that's why I'm pulling it out. It is just a WRX, like I said. It's just got some other parts to it. It's not an STI, but it has STI stuff, like I said. It's got, you guys probably can't see, can't really see. It's got an STI steering wheel, an STI cluster, STI seats. It's got that right there. There's the cluster, but it doesn't have the pillar for all the, it doesn't have the pillar gauge. It's got that. It's got a cob. Yeah, that's about it. Really. I am looking for an STI wing for it because I really like them, personally. Some people don't like them, some people hate it because it's fake or whatever, because I'm using STI stuff on just a WRX. But I really like the wings that are on them, so that's what I am going to do, personally. But I'm going to probably set the camera up so I can record and not have to really worry about anything. Also, that hex nut, if you do not take the starter off, you probably will not be able to get to it. You got to take the starter off in order to take the tranny off, or bolt the motor. Take the bolts out so that the motor can obviously not be bolted onto the tranny. But like I said, I've never done this before. It's kind of like a trial and error. I'm just trying things. If it doesn't work, then I kind of go back and hope for the best. I'm going to try and make this video not too long. It's probably going to be a little longer because I don't really know what I'm doing, like I said. So, and I wanted to record a good intro for you guys. So, here it is. This is my 02 WRX, beginning of a project. So, let's get to it. Alrighty, so it's a lot easier if you start out with this. Do not take the tranny, don't try and pull the motor off, and then try and get the clutch fork thing. But, as you guys can see, it's all the way off. This is what it looks like. It was super easy to pull out. I pulled it out with my hand. You can use like pliers or vice grips or whatever to try and like push on the bolt or pull on the bolt or whatever to try and pull it out. But it is relatively easy to get out. I did watch a few videos on how to get it out because I didn't know. There's if it is a stock, like completely stock car, obviously this isn't. If you have the battery tie down still, there is a bolt or a nut or not a nut, a bolt or some sort of type of bolt that screws into it. It's a, if you know, like if you have to go out and get a bolt, it's a 6mm bolt. These are just kind of bolts I've had laying around from like Hondas and stuff. I'm actually pretty sure this is a battery tie down to something. I don't know what it was to, but it's a decently small hole. You just screw the bolt in there as far in there as you can get it, and then you pull it out. So that's that. Now it's time to pull her out. So let's get the camera set up and let's get her out. Alrighty, so, I mean, like I said, it was literally the clutch fork holding it in, and, I mean, if you wanted to, you could ask Avery. It was a pain to try and get that, to try and pull the motor out without taking the clutch fork off. This is what the clutch fork looks like. It's kind of dirty. Might replace it. I don't know. Don't know if I have to or nothing. Let's check out this input shaft. Input shaft is solid, guys. There's the tranny hanging out. Input shaft is solid. That's good. That's a plus. Even after all my hefty beating on. So, I don't know if you guys can really see. I'm trying. There's a little tiny bar in there. So I don't know if you guys can really see. Yeah, it's right there. Obviously the shaft has to line up with that. If it doesn't, it's not going to really do a whole lot. But here it is. It's just an EJ20 with some other aftermarket stuff, I guess. It's got ARP head studs. From what I was told, it has ARP head studs. Obviously, like I said, the throttle bearing is connected to the clutch. I am getting a whole new clutch kit. I'm getting new ARP head studs for the new motor. Here's the turbo. I'm taking off the turbo. Obviously the wastegate. Maybe some other miscellaneous parts here and there. I'm taking the intake because, yeah, I'm taking the cold air intake because I like that one. Taking the Grimspeed intercooler. Taking all this Grimspeed stuff. For anybody who doesn't know what this is, I did not know what it was for the longest time until my friend Dalton, who I used to record with. He's the one that I did all the tuna stuff with and all that. He's the one who kind of helped more start it, help it grow just a little bit. Obviously, we're not that big, so yeah, not a whole lot to that. But I'm taking this because this is where you put your oil in. It makes it easier than, you know, it being way down yonder like it is. But I'm gonna get the clutch pulled off so I can get it onto the stand. Hopefully getting rid of that soon. There's my heater. Well, it's a box. But here it is, guys. It's out, finally, after a whole week with just one more simple step. But here it is. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.